Undead Matt, and welcome to my macabre movie mania. Today we're going back, way back, so far back I might need to set the mood a little. There, that's better. Yes, we're going back to the 1930s, to the original Universal Monsters, and we're talking about The Bride of Frankenstein! Bride of Frankenstein was released in April of 1935, 4 years after the original Frankenstein was released. The idea of a sequel to Frankenstein was floating around even before the original release of Frankenstein. The Bride is known as one of the earliest horror sequels. It was directed by James Whale, who directed the original Frankenstein, as well as The Invisible Man and The Old Dark House. In this movie, we see the return of Boris Karloff as the monster, and Colin Clive as Dr. Frankenstein. And we get the addition of Elsa Lanchester as the titular bride, as well as Mary Shelley. Because there's this really awkward prologue where it's like Mary Shelley telling the story of Frankenstein, but you know, the first movie was so different that it really wasn't her book, so why would Mary be telling it that way? And also we have Ernest Thesiger as Dr. Pretorius. The Bride of Frankenstein takes place immediately after the events of Frankenstein, where the monster threw Dr. Frankenstein from a windmill as the windmill burned to the ground. The townspeople find Dr. Frankenstein and bring him back to his lab to recover, and his wife is there to meet him. While Dr. Frankenstein is attempting to recover, he is met by a sinister man known as Dr. Pretorius. See, Dr. Pretorius was developing his own godlike science, growing little people in jars.
My first experiment was so lovely that we made her a queen. Charming, don't you think?
Which is a lot of fun. I have the home kit. You can, you put the little seed in the thing and it grows and you have a little man. But knowing his hubris, Dr. Frankenstein rejects any ideas from Dr. Pretorius, and he just wants to go on living his normal, boring life. In the meantime, we find the monster has fallen into a cave that is beneath the windmill that burns. We see him then escape the cave and wander the countryside. You can see that the makeup in this is even more fantastic. They took the time and the detail to make it look like the monster was once engulfed in flames, showing us new scars and more darkness. The monster roams the countryside, trying to figure out where he belongs in life, and soon befriends a blind man who teaches him to speak and also how to enjoy smoking.
Good.
Just a reminder, kids, the only true monsters are the monsters that smoke. Some hunters find the monster and chase him into a mausoleum, where the monster runs into Dr. Pretorius. The Doctor then uses the monster to blackmail Dr. Frankenstein into creating another monster to further his own research. And that is where we get the titular Bride of Frankenstein.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
He said it!
Once the bride is awakened, it is strongly hinted that she doesn't care for the monster. But I don't know for sure, because she seems to act like any woman I come across. Hey baby, you wanna dance? Alright. Upset at being rejected by the bride, and maybe seeing the hubris of his own mortality, the monster destroys the lab, killing him, the bride, and Dr. Pretorius, but saving Dr. Frankenstein. Leaving us on a dark and grim ending. The Bride of Frankenstein made $2 million on a $400,000 budget, making it a huge success for Universal, and had much praise upon release, both critically and commercially. It is known as one of the best gothic horror movies of all time, and Times listed it as one of the 100 best movies of all time. And most consider it one of the times the sequel surpassed the original. In my opinion, The Bride of Frankenstein holds up today. It still creates a spooky, dark atmosphere and continues the story left off from the original movie. The Bride, only being in it for a short time, has become a staple of Halloween horror. In 1985, a remake of Bride of Frankenstein was made called The Bride, starring Sting as Dr. Frankenstein and Jennifer Beals as the Bride. And of course, since The Bride was part of Mary Shelley's original gruesome novel, it was included in the 1994 Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And The Bride was played by Helena Bonham Carter. And in the most disturbing developments recently, Universal has decided to bring back The Bride of Frankenstein as part of their ill-fated dark universe following The Mummy. It is slated for release in 2019 and starring Angelina Jolie as the titular bride. Will it hold up to its original counterpart? Of course not. The dark universe is stupid, but Bride of Frankenstein is an amazing film and should be part of your dark, haunted evenings. Light up a fire, turn down the lights, and turn on Bride of Frankenstein. Now I'm getting tired of this black and white, so let's turn the color back on. Oh shit.
Thanks everyone again for joining me for another Macabre Movie Mania. What is your favorite Universal monster? Leave me a comment below, and also if you have any ideas for future movies to cover on this show. And remember, I vote for the next episode, so follow me on Twitter at wizard_Matt to get your vote in for the next episode. And until then, check out these 2 episodes and go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again.